The fire between your connection has not ran out. I'm seeing a fury. Like a fury of courageous... It's like there's three fires, three different fires going on in different directions. And they're meeting in the middle. They're combining forces. And this fire is not a fire of destruction, it's a fire of rebirth. Something had to end for a new beginning to surface. This ending, what I'm hearing, this ending wasn't as scary as they thought it would be. What is up with that? What was this ending? So there's something in this person's life connected to you. It's like a secret. So you're not very aware. You could probably kind of feel a release, but somebody doesn't feel stuck anymore and they want to fill your cup. There was a relationship they were stuck in. I can't get it out of my head. They felt there was a connection they could not drive away from. And it's impossible for them to stay unhappy anymore. They felt like they were closing up their love. They were closing up themselves. They were wearing a mask by being stuck in a relationship or a dynamic that no longer served. These are collective tips resonate. So this can either be, for most of you, it's love. That they were in between releasing what no longer serves and going forth into a new beginning with any person that was meant to be with them. Not necessarily you. Go with me here. This person did not fully see how much of their life was being controlled, manipulated, and pulled on by this romantic or deep soul connection to somebody else that didn't serve. I know it sounds a little confusing right now, but this is how the download's coming in organically. It's because they were confused. Everything in their body was telling them to come to you. But the 3D world, things weren't adding up. You both had a lot of growing to do when you first met each other. And it does feel like to fill up somebody else's cup, they had to close the complete connection with you. They couldn't even put a drop into your cup, if you will. Things were said. Things were said before the finish line ever hit. You could have felt like you stumbled on your own feet. There was this deep knowing that something was deeper between you two. But there was a push and a pull. I see you're somebody that very much can feel what I call the 5 mile ahead dynamic. You can feel and see where connections are going. Even more than that, though. You can feel and see the future. And this is a scary thing when you don't know how to believe it. How to make it from being a crutch to a valued superpower. Because if you know the future, and I'm not saying it in the Doctor Strange or etc. type of way, if you can see into the further of your timeline and you forget that you're still in this part of your timeline, you could try to rush things before they're ready. You can feel and see where things are going to be. But life experience still has to happen for the trickling effect of how it gets to that energetic point you already feel. You can feel where things are going to be before they're there. There have been connections that you tried to fill up the cup before it was even set out to begin with. So it was like filling up, just pouring water on an open spot on the table. In this connection, you have gone inwards and deeply reflected on what you learned, what you could have done differently, but you wouldn't have done it differently now if you didn't do it then. And on this other person's side, I'm seeing the arising from the ashes of there was somebody they were continuously trying to fill the cup, and it was never being drank. I see them, while you were filling an area that had nothing to be filled yet, they were filling the cup of another individual who was just staying there like this and letting the water drip over. And no, give me more. Give me more. Over and over again. I'm not saying whoever the person was attached to them was this asshole of a person and a horrible individual, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure, and I can feel the good in their dynamic, in that person's soul, but they were over giving, and they felt so untouched in their heart. You have no idea how hard it was for this person to actually let you go. They knew you had to explore. You had to figure things out. They had to figure things out. And the only way to get you to go was saying, I want nothing to do with you. Everything in your heart was feeling so much more, but then the 3D world happened. And they felt that they were setting you free. They were setting themselves free. Everything happens the way it's supposed to. You couldn't have not gone through this separation and be who you are now and release who you once were. As we speak, they're not in a grief mindset about you, and they're not making a wish for you to appear in their life. They know the ball's in their court. They're gaining not even courage, the right time to really... It's an interesting energy. The reason this is interesting is because they know the ball's in their court. They're not waiting for a specific time. And they feel that they've gained a real deep understanding of you without you even knowing. So they could be watching you. They could be watching you on your social medias. You see them looking at your stories. They could have, in some instances, talked to people about you. I sense them realizing it's time that there's no time that will be correct anymore. They're a very observant person. They've been building a home and things have finally become settled, and it seems like there's an empty room, if you will. Once this is done, when everything they said that had to be finished before they would be ready to dive into what they feel for you, what could be, what was, etc. Everything that had to be checked off the list has been done. So now there's nothing they're feeling that they're stuck in. Oh, I'll do this and then I'll reach out to them. Oh, I'll do this. It is an energy of acceptance. They know that you... This is a very interesting energy. I know it's taking a little bit longer. They're such a private person, and they've really opened up channels to allow you in. I'm telling you, this person's heavily fucking guarded, and I get it. I can feel the hurt and despair that they have experienced. I feel the love and the happiness they've experienced too in life. It is taking them so much to come back. So much. The strength and the trust they are having in their self in this particular situation is so unique, is what I'm hearing. Because this person has to be somebody who, they can either be a air or a water sign, from what I'm sensing, or at least their moon placement is some form of air or water sign, because they are deeply internally emotional, and that's a strength. It's very hard for them to show that on the outside and be vulnerable, and also like give not even second chances, but like once they've cut somebody out of their life, it's like done. It's solidified. So the fact that I feel this reach out or this sense of opening communication, however it resonates, is not something little. It shows the bigger scheme of just truly how connected you two are. Spirit wants you to know you've already bossed up. You have been in shadow work. They have been in shadow work. You do not have to do anything. This person is coming to you. And this is based off freedom of will. This is based off of what will make them happy. What makes them happy and what makes you happy do coagulate. You're two very unique sources, and you're still having your priorities. You're still going to be dependable to the surroundings, but you have room for each other now, and a time before you didn't. There was a time you thought you could give this person everything, and you couldn't. And in fact, the fact that you thought you could give them everything at that point showed how immature you were at that time. Because we all go through this. You have embraced every part of your journey. They have seen the ability for you to take layers and layers and layers off, but also a form of strength and strength and strength built, upgrading. But you've never changed. Go with me here. You've upgraded. There have been parts of your shadow, parts of masks and etc. of what you thought you were supposed to be that have shed away. But your soul, that vessel, that energy, that light, that first inkling when they first met you, that's never gone away. You've just strengthened your core is what I'm hearing. There's no red light going on in this connection. You've been put it's interesting energy. You've been given the red light so they have the green light. Just like when you're on the road. If both green lights are on, there's gonna be a crash. To defer traffic, to move things around. They have a green light. Spirit's telling you to sit still. You have been able to realign with this person because of how much you have let go of not only people, situations that no longer serve, but mindsets and self-beliefs, self-limiting beliefs. You see the power of your law of attraction. And you're no longer trying to manifest love and etc. into your life. You see why you needed this time. So you're no longer playing a game with your own parasite, your own ego, etc. So you could learn to trust again. So you can make your imprint in this world and remember that you don't need anybody to be of source. You don't need anybody to Be worthy of love. You are so loved in so many different forms. You don't need this one person's love to feel alive and accepted. You didn't realize it back then how much you still needed to grow. And we're always evolving. But now you have done this dance of life and practiced by yourself that you're able to come with a partner and now study these dances of life and divinely orchestrated songs, if you will, together. You're ready to drive side by side. This person is lowering a mask. Hourglass. I think this is... I always film a bunch of readings. Like I go... So during... The way I film is a couple of times during the week, I go into frenzy mode where I just film one after the other, after the other, after the other. And then organically throughout the week is when I post them. And I think this reading earlier, I said hourglass, or it was the reading before this one. And we pulled the hourglass, divine timing. This is all coming together. Continue. All you must do right now is continue to balance your alone time and still putting yourself out in the world. All you must do is remember you are a gift in others' lives, just as you see people as a gift in yours. To make sure you are leading through divine feminine strength, no matter your gender. Divine feminine strength means when you're courageous and you're leading through like nurture and a sympathetic type of courageous energy. Letting people speak, not jumping to conclusions. Being a safe space for yourself, therefore others. You have to continue. You don't have to. You don't have to, but you're going to continue to be a safe space for yourself. I feel them embracing in your arms and letting the cookie crumble is what I'm hearing. Letting them melt. Letting themselves drive to more than their desires. One more card. Drive to what? What makes them feel alive? What makes their inner child feel healed and seen? What loves them unconditionally? And this is more than just you. They are driving, they are and continue. They're on a road trip of their highest timeline and picking themselves. And they've looked in and seen why they stayed in dynamics that no longer serve, why they held on to things that made them feel weak or not enough or neglected. Now they're following their grace. So let things flow. Don't make things fit. And be assured that when you speak to them, your presentation is not overspeaking your words. That's what I got for y'all today. Now we're going to talk about the Spiritual Colorado adventure. Every single spot has been booked. You can still put yourself on the waiting list in case there's any spots added. All you must simply do is go to the website, which is attached to all my social media platforms and on my website. And you'll see, it will say join the waiting list for $0. If anything gets added, you will know, you'll be notified. But also, by putting yourself on the waiting list, when my trip is ready for 2025 to be released, you will be the first to know. You will be notified and be one of the first to sign up, etc. I cannot express how grateful, excited, I am for this. Thank you for everybody who resonates with my energy, my readings. Most importantly, thank you for doing the work on your end, meaning loving yourself, meaning going through these hurdles of life and not becoming what surrounded you, rising above and not belittling your self-worth a day more, a day longer. When you choose to love yourself, know what you're deserving of, you send a domino effect out to this world for the same things that happen to other people. If you want other people to love themselves, you have to love yourself. If you want other people to respect themselves, you have to respect yourself. It's so true. No matter where you are in this world, know I can't even put into words how much your soul means to me. How important, the most important thing, how important your soul is to this existence. You are valued. You are deserving of every inch and ounce of love you give the world to come back. And if you feel for a long time you've had to seclude that love that you've wanted to give the world, you're also deserving of feeling that free space to take up as much time, as much space as you want. To be yourself. And not be in a relationship where you feel like you have to go like this. You're realistic. You're raw. You're emotional. That's a superpower. You've had to teach yourself how to not make your presentation overspeak your words. You've had to teach yourself how to notice when you're chasing. You weren't taught to understand what I'm doing right now is chasing a person. What I'm doing right now is not fully communicating, etc. However it resonates for you. You've moved mountains. And you're going to continue. Your team is continuing to build. In that romantic connection, but more as well. That's what I got for y'all today. I'll see you when I see you. Let's get it.